was and is made. We are proud to call Montgomery home, and together we can be the change.
The top HBCU programs in the nation come to Montgomery, Alabama's Riverwalk Stadium this May 11th through 14th for the Black College World Series. The best Black college baseball teams in the NCAA Division II and the NAIA will battle for Black baseball's ultimate pride. Games will be streamed live at www.mybcsn.net. Tickets are available now online at www.blackcollegechampionships.com.
Nope. Nope.
Come on, him.
Ooh, I like him.
Quick, the quicker picker-upper. Bounty picks up messes quicker, and each sheet is 2 times more absorbent, so you can use less.
He's an 8.
He's a 9.
Bounty, the quicker picker-upper.
Oh, that spin class was brutal. Well, you can try using the Buick's massaging seat.
Ooh, yeah, that's nice. Can I use Apple CarPlay to put some music on?
Sure, it's wireless.
It's something we all like. Okay, hold on. What's your Buick's Wi-Fi password?
Buick Envision 2021.
Oh, you should pick something stronger. That's really predictable.
That's a really tight spot. Don't worry, I used to hate parallel parking.
Me too.
Hey.
Really outdid yourself.
Yes, we did.
The all-new Buick Envision, an SUV built around you, all of you.
Supermarket sushi, really?
No. Wait, Troy, you work here?
I'm never not working. Like Head & Shoulders Scalp Shield technology, up to 100% dandruff protection, even between washes.
Never not working, huh?
Oh, Troy, you're such a good teacher.
Yeah, I know. Never not working. Never not working. Never ever not working.
Are you serious?
Never not working. Dandruff protection that's never not working. Head & Shoulders Scalp Shield technology.
It's never too early to plant the seed, to share the tradition, and instill a sense of pride in your HBCU with your little ones. HBCU Pride and Joy Children's Boutique helps you share your school spirit with a wide selection of adorable kids' apparel and accessories officially licensed from your favorite HBCU. Visit hbcupridejoy.com and follow us on all social media at HBCU Pride Joy on Facebook and Twitter.
This is the Dean of the College of HBCU Sports, Kenyatta Cavill of Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Come mix it up in the lab where the course lecture is in session every Tuesday from 6 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time on Facebook Live, YouTube Spreaker, or the BCSN app, as we discuss all things about the HBCU sports culture, including exploring the week that was in the sporting HBCU diaspora, as well as the upcoming week of HBCU sports. With me, the Dean, the College of HBCU Sports, on Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Course lecture dismissed.
Charmin Ultra Soft has so much cushiony softness, it's hard for your family to remember. They can use less.
Sweet pillows of softness.
This is soft.
Holy Charmin. Oh, excuse me. Roll it back, everybody. Sorry.
Charmin Ultra Soft is so cushiony soft, you'll want more. But it's so absorbent, you can use less. So it's always worth it.
Now, what did we learn about using less?
You gotta roll it back, everybody.
We all go. Why not enjoy the go with Charmin?
From novice to aficionado, find yourself here. High quality cigars plus personal customer service. Slow Burn is Waco's only mobile cigar lounge, featuring a meticulous, curated collection of premium cigars. Visit our website, www.slowburnwaco.com. That's www.slowburnwaco.com.
Q Time is a classic Atlanta soul food restaurant located in the historic West End. Q Time Soul Food is a family business started by Fred and Christine Crenshaw. Come on in, relax, and sink your chops into our tantalizing, mouth-watering, distinctive soul food with a twist, the Q Time way. 1120 Ralph David Abernathy Boulevard, or call your order in at 404-758-2881. Do you miss your mama's cooking? Then come on down to Q Time, an Urban Passport member.
For 200 years, Montgomery, Alabama has been making history. by people who had the courage to stand up for change. Today, this riverfront city has been reborn, embracing the past and looking forward to the future. From the National Memorial for Peace and Justice to the stage of the Alabama Shakespeare Festival, this is where history was and is made. We are proud to call Montgomery home, and together, we can be the change.
All right, good evening and welcome to another edition of the ONG Strike Zone. Brian, Calvin, Rozier, Kofi Hemingway. Happy Earth Day, Rattlers. Happy Earth Day, Rattler Nation.
Are you trying
Kofi,
to get a bird
Calvin,
shot at you or something?
I'm just trying to bring some
Earth
positivity.
Day.
Just trying to bring some positivity to the show. It's much needed. So
Earth Day.
Just trying to do my little part. How you doing,
What
Kofi?
did you do for Earth Day?
I recycled some bottles of some liquid that I drank today. What did you do for Earth Day?
Nothing.
Nothing. Hopefully you didn't throw any
I
trash
love
on
the
the
earth.
ground.
I do recycling every day. So that's where we at with that.
I got you. I got you, man. Feeling good?
Feeling wonderful, man. Lot to talk about, man. This show's gonna be one of those shows where, I don't know if we got phone lines gonna be open or not, but this one we need phone lines open. A lot of emotions. We got to talk about the facts, though.
A lot of people. It must be something to talk about. I mean, we got a lot of people in the chat rooms already. Shout out to the YouTube crew already loaded up in there. About several people up in there already.
Kenya, I got on black today because I ain't happy. I'm gonna put it like that. I got my black on, my funeral black on because I'm not happy.
I do too. It's kind of coincidence. Funny thing, we're in black. But yeah, we got a lot of news to talk about. I know we had a particular show route or a show script that we thought about we were going to go down today. And then as of about 4:00 Eastern, we received the news that Athletic Director Kortne Gosha had submitted his resignation. What was the laugh for? What was that? Had submitted his resignation effective immediately. Going to read directly from FAMUathletics.com where it was published. Obviously, this is a quote from VP of Athletics and Vice President and Director of Athletics. He says, quote, "My alignment and core values are very important to me. And there is no secret that we created a transformational student-athlete experience second to none that has elevated Florida agricultural and mechanical that will place them on a trajectory far beyond my tenure. I am incredibly proud of the work and the people that have done that work. In such a short time, we have elevated the program and institutional reputation to a level of new credibility." That coming from AD Gosha, released 4:02 this afternoon on April 20th. And so that's where we're at. Before we get into talking about that, we got a lot of stuff to get into related to that. We'll also kind of find some time to, as we always do, kind of give the Rattler Roundup. We talk about baseball, softball, men's golf, things of that nature. And yes, there's an opportunity that, although, opportunity for the phone lines to open up, not looking to create any new shows, but there will be phone lines that'll be opening up a little bit later in our show, probably in the second hour. Marcus Green, our recruiting coordinator, will be coming in and talking with us at the bottom of the first hour. FAMU football is making a lot of noise, and so 2 new recruits have signed on. We'll hear more about that. But fellas, let's start with the story of the day. Before I get into the story of the day, all you guys who are watching us on YouTube or Facebook, I'm sorry, Kofi, I got to get the plugs out the way. You go ahead and make sure to hit that thumbs up button and make sure you are you like and subscribe. If you're watching us on Facebook, go ahead and do that as well. Make sure to share. People, instant reaction today might even give people an opportunity to tune in. Rattler Nation has a lot of things to say. A lot of folks are divided on this topic in the news. A lot of shock and dismay about what this means. But we'll go around the horn, and as we always do, I'll start with you, Kelvin. Give you a chance. Your instant reaction. Don't chew all the meat off the bone because we got a lot to talk about. So just your instant reaction when the news came out, or through the course of the day.
I want to be responsible. Yeah, I want to be responsible on this on this topic. I know it's going to be divisive. I know we got folks on different sides, and we're going to have to come together and support the new AD moving forward and the programs moving forward. My instant reaction is, of course, I have some inside information, so I knew it was a possibility. I've been hearing rumblings. What you want to see people come to a job, do a good job, and if they leave because they got a better opportunity or they're retiring. That's the ideal situation, but it don't always work out that way. There was some good in this administration. Me being a facilities kind of oriented person, I really like some of the things that happened with that side of it. There were some not so good things also, and we're gonna have to acknowledge that too. But at the end of the day, it's still a dark day because I think what I'll leave with this for now. FAMU has always been great. FAMU will continue to be great, and so the next man up mentality is kind of what we got to have at this point, and we'll continue to do great things. I want people to remember that.
Right. And I sense, I hear in your voice the calm. You're carefully, Kelvin. That's what I like about you. You're very, very thoughtful in your words whenever you get ready to speak. And I know, because not only of your position and what you've held and your access, that you're trying to be exactly that, responsible and respectful. And that's what we're going to try to do. I mean, we're not going to flame any rumors that are floating around out there. But there are things that are being put out there that I know are not accurate. And so I think to that degree, we have to be able to put some of that stuff down. But at the end of the day, I don't know the reasoning why AD Gautier is stepping down. Let's be clear about that. There's nothing official as to why he has chosen to step down. Okay, regardless of what other articles are out there and what other rumors and speculation are out there, we haven't received any official word from Florida A&M University administration. So anything that anybody's putting out, pure speculation at this point in time. So let's all remember that. Okay. So turn that over to you, Kofi, and get your instant reaction to the news.
All right. So, number one, I want to say that the latest things that we've been seeing about the contract. There were things that were already in motion before all of this came out. So the contract did not have anything to do with it. The Rattler Nation post really didn't have a whole lot to do with this decision to move on. It did add a little gas to the fire, but Rattler Nation is a blog post, which means that they can pretty much go in and say stuff from an opinion base. But there was nothing in regards to that had a whole lot to do with this. Now, I'm disappointed because I liked Kortne. I felt like he was able to get, he elevated FAMU athletics. He elevated the brand. He elevated the department. I mean, we're coming off of, I want to say, several changes with athletics, and following Milton Overton and then following Mr. Eason. There was a lot to be desired there. We needed somebody that was going to follow through and get some things done. And quite frankly, Kortne was that dude, that got things done. We were not sitting around, I want to say, not doing anything. Now, let me just go here for a minute. I kind of liken my feelings and my emotions to what I felt when Mr. Flores got canned. And by that I mean there were different scenarios. Obviously, Flores was 3-1 against Belichick. He had a number of different solid victories. He had a winning record the last 2 seasons. But inwardly, behind the scenes, there was confusion. And a lot of that stuff, I want to say, we have to shift and change. We have to shift and change. We got time tonight. I got time tonight. So I will be going in on a lot of these different things. I got time. So let me just say again.
I'm with you, Govey.
Let me just say this again. Kortne got renovations to the field house. The field house was molded and should have been condemned. Okay? The mere fact that it took 32 years to get something done, or for our leadership up top, the administration, to see the need to get something done, is absolutely appalling. It's ridiculous. But it took Rick Kinsey to go in with his camera to expose the mold, to expose the raggediness, to expose the craziness that we had going on in there. We had coaches that weren't even bringing potential recruits to the darn field house.
Right.
Kortne, even though, say what you want. We got the wraps on the wall now. We got the floors redone, the lockers redone. And let me just say, if Rattler Nation is satisfied with that, then shame on us. Because A, this is something that should have been happened, but B, Jackson State's already surpassed us with the darn TVs on top of the locker, the cleaner locker room, the brand new facilities and stuff. But they were able to do that because they have an administration, I want to say, a leadership up top that wants to see athletics prosper. We don't have that at FAMU. Next, renovations to Bragg. Let me be clear. Bragg Stadium was about to be condemned as well. We weren't going to be able to even play a game in fall 2021 had Kortne and his staff not done what they did. Now, a lot of this stuff was done prior to trying to get it up there with Eason and his staff.
Let me step in on that one. If we're going to tell the truth, we're going to tell the whole truth. The man ain't been here but 2.5 years. He had nothing to do with that. All right. He don't manage no construction. He didn't come up with the design. So there's a lot of other people who was involved in that. So I want to give him credit for what he did, and I want to give other people credit for what they did. Go ahead.
Good, because I want that Scorpio to come out tonight. That's what I wanted to do. Let's get people talking. Stop hiding behind stuff. Say what needs to be said. But still, if it happened on Kortne's watch, Kortne gets the credit. Yep. Okay? And Bragg Stadium should never have been in that position for us to be in danger of not being able to play a home game in Bragg Memorial Stadium. It's ridiculous in this day and age with the resources and the people that we have. You know, for that to happen is absolutely ridiculous. The renovation to the softball field, the weight room, you know, obviously even Gauthier Gym. Now I understand that we probably didn't have to do that, but they did it. The apparel deal with Nike and LeBron, the National Alumni Association fundraising tour, the Why Not Us broadcast, and even the return of the OBC, you know, which started before him, it happened on his watch. So all of these things are, I want to say, positives that I think that we can look at and say, wow. I mean, even down to the Why Not Us with them putting a vending machine in the locker room. I think that that's a plus. That tells me that he's somebody that is engaged with our student athletes and wants to see them do better. Now, the flip side of that
alignment,
is...
that offensive alignment is in the transfer portal. Just thought I'd throw it out there.
I'm gonna just throw that one out there.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about
That's
that.
One of the first names we've seen. That was cold, Calvin.
Let me just say, again, just going in, when we you know, when your mama goes down to the school or she starts hearing rumblings about stuff, you know, here you got all these great reports, but we keep getting notifications on the phone that you're not in class. Or when you in class, you are showing your ass. You know, and you're not representing the household properly. So consequently, there has to be a meeting. Now, obviously, the conversation with your mama or your daddy is, okay, so you're doing such a great job. Why am I getting these notifications that are saying otherwise? What is the issue? Okay, why are we missing 2 people from the staff? You know, why haven't you said anything to Rattler Nation since January? Was there a muzzle that was put on you by the president? You know, when I'm gonna mispronounce his name just for the sake, but those of you all that are in the know will figure it out and get it. Why did you get rid of Baskari Bamoun in the office and not have a conversation with him about what you were doing? And is it true that you forged some documents and sent them down to legal where his wife worked? Does that make any sense? I just want clarity in regards to this so that when we fight for you, we're not fighting an empty battle. There again, President Robinson and I, for the record, I am on record for saying I am so ready for change up top for multiple reasons. But the one thing that I can say about President Robinson is he is as methodical as he can possibly be. He will not make a move unless there is extreme pressure, and I want to say extreme circumstances and evidence that will back up what he's saying. So there's a lot to talk about. Obviously, I'm proud of the work. I would have liked to have seen this work through and work out, but when that momentum starts going and you start getting additional figures that are a part of the whole scenario and folks don't want to talk, it's not good. So I'm going to get off my soapbox for the time being, but I have a lot more to say.
I'm curious about this pressure. Because one of the things
Well,
that
again,
that
when you
hold on. Let me
fire as many people as Kortne did when he came in, when you fire as many people as Kortne did when he came in, these people are well connected in the local community, in the governmental community, in the alumni community, and all of
yeah,
these things. These
but
again,
with all
when you get
but with
rid of that
respect to
many
all those
people,
people, when you come in as the new person, there is there, especially at that level as the vice president and the AD, you at some point you do want to have your closest people with you, people who are going to be in the foxhole with you. Now, I don't know all the stances, and like I said, I don't know. Maybe I don't know the timeline on how quickly he moved on.
let me say this:
you know,
when you do that at FAMU, really, when you do it, it's not so much that you do it; it's also the way that you do it and how
okay, but
people are
see, you're about to
treated
go down a road
early on, huh?
you're about to start talking about the FAMU nepotism, the FAMU cabal, this FAMU elitism that we have
That is part of the whole
that has
dysfunction.
failed.
But
Yes, it is
let
part of the
me just
dysfunction.
say this again. I was at one time, I want to say on back in 2015, 2016, somewhere around there, I was the PA announcer at Bragg. So I get that whole thing with the new regime coming in. Coach Eason came in and he was like, didn't tell me per se that I was no longer the voice of Bragg. I had to find out through the grapevine that I was no longer the voice of Bragg. So, yeah. So,
There
once
are
I
many
found it
people. Look,
out,
I'm not condoning unprofessionalism. I'm not condoning it. I understand. Look, I understand there are plenty of people who don't
all
do
I'm
things the
saying
right
is,
way.
I didn't make a fuss about it, but I'm just saying when you come in, the way that you do stuff really does matter. There were a lot of people that could have helped, I want to say, with the whole transition with the tickets, with the whole transition with the whole parking, the game day operations that was a fiasco, all of that
And there are
stuff
just as many
that was
people who
out
could have
there
impeded
who
progress
could
than
have
you wanted to
helped
make.
with the resources. You're new to an entire city. You don't know anybody. Okay, you don't have relationships. So you
So
need those
Brian,
He's got a
relationships
brotherhood.
if
He's
you're going
connected
to
to
be
a
able to
brotherhood.
get
You
those
and I
things
both know
done.
that. Connected to a brotherhood. There are plenty of people in that brotherhood who were there to help him along. I'm sure.
They
What I
weren't
was
in
going.
athletics.
Well,
so Brian, can we let if you don't mind, fellas, for a minute? I kind of want to just talk about the facts because I want to try to keep things on the facts.
Well, hold on.
So
I know we got plenty of show. We'll get to the facts because about certain things. Let me just finish my opening point real quick, and then I'll give you a couple minutes here to get to your points, Kelvin. And I know we got to take a break and go to our next. I did want to just say I do think there is something to be said. Well, in terms of my reaction to things, one of the first tip-offs that I was worried about is when I started seeing posts this morning, not only from National Alumni Association President Colonel Greg Clark, you started seeing it from the head coach Willie Simmons. When you started seeing this, I believe that's note right here is from Coach Simmons. He posted it, I believe, on Instagram, but he also posted it on Twitter. And he said, in all my years in intercollegiate athletics, I've never witnessed someone do so much with so little in such a short amount of time. And he mentioned those things: Bragg Stadium repairs, Gallimore Fieldhouse, blah, blah, blah. Your visionary leadership matched with the genuine care for the welfare of our students makes you a generational talent as athletic director. As we march into the future during the renaissance of Black college athletics, I feel more confident than ever in my ability to lead under your leadership. I sincerely thank and applaud you, Vice President and Director of Athletics, Mr. Kortne Gosha, and our young men and women appreciate you more then you can imagine. That's coming from head coach Willie Simmons. A lot of sentiment were coming from people. And so at that point, I'm thinking, and we're all texting, I'm like, hey, so the wagons are circling. The wagons are circling. Hold on, Kofi. Yeah, you had your minute. Hold on. You had 5. Give me a minute.
You better hurry up because I'm about to cut in. Go ahead on.
I hit the mute, but I hit the mute button. I got control of the mute. Anyway,
no stats tonight. Let's go.
The wagons were circling around AD Gautier. At that point, it's like, okay, something. I don't know what. Something is happening. Then you started hearing the rumors about, what happened, could happen. Then, of course, you have the resignation. I will say this. When he inherited or when he hired for this role, okay, yes, there were other candidates that I know personally I would have preferred to see, but he was given the opportunity. And when you look at now, I don't think it's been a full 3 years. He is leaving FAMU in a better place than when he came into the role. And so if we're going to look at his short tenure, good, bad, indifferent, and it is a better place. It is a better job than when he got to it. We can all agree on that to some degree, yes? Okay, I think I saw Kofi's nod. I don't know Kelvin agrees, but
in some ways, yes. In some ways,
it's a better. Okay, now again, just like Kofi said, to what degree we get the credit? Look, when Rashay has a great passing day, we're giving all the praise and credit to Coach Simmons for having patience and blah blah blah. If he has a bad, Coach Simmons will say, "Why didn't you bench him at halftime?" Okay, so when you're the leader of an organization, when the good stuff is happening and rolling, you get the credit, regardless of, yes, all these other parts happening. When things are going bad, the blame comes your way, okay, and the fault comes your way, okay? That comes with being in the role that he's in, okay? So I think so for me, where I'm at is I'm disappointed because I've had people that I know and respect, just like you guys do, that didn't think he would last long in the position. Why? Because he's a young black man. He's aggressive. Whatever some of the negative things that have been put out about him about being aggressive in the FAMU and culture, because we don't like new people that come in that are outside the culture. We don't like new people telling us what to do because we are who we are, right? So we knew, or those people that I talked to didn't think he would last longer than maybe 5 years, 3 to 5 years anyway. Okay, so that's what's disappointing to me. And then when I hear things about the people and the people in these strange place, that FAMU Illuminati, whoever they are, that's unhappy with Kortne because bend the knee to whoever it is. That's the start that pisses me off personally, because somebody knows who they are. Whoever those people are, those people have been a problem for a long time at FAMU and in getting things done.
Brian, stop it, man. Stop it. How did he get the job in the first place at 31 years old with his resume? All right?
They gave him
with his resume, he couldn't have been an AD nowhere else. All right?
Okay.
It was that same Illuminati that you talking about that gave him the opportunity. So stop it, man.
Okay, so he got.
We gonna talk. We gonna talk now.
Okay, let's talk. So what happened? What changed?
I'm gonna tell you what changed. The same guy who hired him December 2nd, 2019, fired him. Period. Dr. Robinson hired him. Dr. Robinson fired him. You have to ask him. But at the end of the day, ain't nobody doing this man in. Ain't nobody doing this man in, trying to get, all this Illuminati stuff. Stop that, man. That's the kind of stuff I want to stay away from, because that's BS. The man had a job. He tried to do his job best he could. He was successful in some parts. He wasn't successful in some parts. And the decision was made by the leadership to go in a different direction. But it was the FAMU Mafia that gave him the opportunity in the first place. And you know what I'm talking about.
Okay, you're right. You're right.
Now,
quickly, Kelvin, go to your. I can't look. You got me on that one. Go. We got about a minute to get your point. Before we go, or do you need longer than a minute?
No. Let's go to break and let somebody else go, and then we'll come back on the other side.
Okay. On the other side, we had planned to come in with Marcus on the other side to get into
No, we got to finish
we
this.
got a long show.
We're not done.
He can join.
Right.
He can join in.
We'll talk about it here on the other side of this. Hang in there. Stay tuned. Make sure to hit that thumbs up button. Those of you who are watching the show, go ahead and hit that thumbs up button. We got a lot to talk about. In the second hour, we're going to open up the phone lines, give Rattler Nation an opportunity to express their thoughts on today. Instant reaction night. Athletic Director Kortne Gosha resigned from the position. We'll talk about who's stepping in next and more. You're watching the ONG Strike Zone. We'll be back right after these words.
The top HBCU programs in the nation come to Montgomery, Alabama's Riverwalk Stadium this May 11th through 14th for the Black College World Series. The best Black college baseball teams in the NCAA Division II and the NAIA will battle for Black baseball's ultimate prize. Games will be streamed live at www.mybcsn.net. Tickets are available now online at www.blackcollegechampionships.com.
Nope. Nope.
Come on, him.
Ooh, I like him.
Quick, the quicker picker-upper. Bounty picks up messes quicker, and each sheet is 2 times more absorbent, so you can use less.
He's an 8.
He's a 9.
Bounty, the quicker picker-upper.
Oh, that spin class was brutal. Well, you can try using the Buick's massaging seat.
Ooh, yeah, that's nice. Can I use Apple CarPlay to put some music on?
Sure, it's wireless. Pick something we all like.
Okay, hold on.
What's your Buick's Wi-Fi password?
Buick Envision 2021. Oh, you should pick something stronger. That's really predictable.
That's a really tight spot.
Don't worry, I used to hate parallel parking.
Me too.
Hey.
Really outdid yourself.
Yes, we did.
The all-new Buick Envision, an SUV built around you, all of you.
Supermarket sushi, really?
No. Wait, Troy, you work here?
I'm never not working. Like Head & Shoulders Scalp Shield technology, up to 100% dandruff protection, even between washes.
Never not working, huh?
Oh, Troy, you're such a good teacher.
Yeah, I know. Never not working. Never not working. Never ever not working.
Are you serious?
Never not working. Dandruff protection that's never not working. Head & Shoulders Scalp Shield technology.
It's never too early to plant the seed, to share the tradition, and instill a sense of pride in your HBCU with your little ones. HBCU Pride and Joy Children's Boutique helps you share your school spirit with a wide selection of adorable kids apparel and accessories officially licensed from your favorite HBCU. Visit hbcupridejoy.com and follow us on all social media at HBCU Pride Joy on Facebook and Twitter.
This is the Dean of the College of HBCU Sports, Kenyatta Cavill of Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Come mix it up in the lab where the course lecture is in session every Tuesday from 6 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time on Facebook Live, YouTube Spreaker, or the BCSN app, as we discuss all things about the HBCU sports culture, including exploring the week that was in the sporting HBCU diaspora, as well as the upcoming week of HBCU sports. With me, the Dean, the College of HBCU Sports, on Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Course lecture dismissed.
Boy, I tell you what, you can already seen our own. I just seen the disclaimer come break, so that's how you know. That's how you know we hitting on something today. You just to make sure it's understood. Thank you for watching the OG Strike Zone, Brian, Kelvin, and Kofi. Make sure you are following us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at ONG Strike Zone. Also, make sure you find us on the Jericho Broadcast Networks app, which you can download on your Google or Apple Play Store. Just go search My JBN, My BCSN, and we are the BCSN Pod Zone. You can always find our show along with a host of other shows on the Black College Sports Network via the BCSN Pod Zone. For those of you who like to watch, or I should say listen to shows on your Apple Podcast, Spotify, Anchor, iHeart, you can listen to all of the shows there. Coming up in hour number 2, we're going to open up the phone lines. We rarely do that because this show's usually about us and our guests, but we know that a lot of folks, Rattler Nation included, have a lot to get off their chest. Again, Athletic Director Kortne Gosha resigned from his post. I don't know this to be official, Kelvin, so correct me if you've seen it anywhere from the university, but it is believed that Michael Smith, who is the associate he's the business and auxiliary services, vice president. He will be taking over as the interim athletic director, a position done 3 times previously in the changes from athletic administrations. He took over the first time following Bill Hayes prior to Derek Horn becoming the athletic director at FAMU. And then I believe he also took over the role following Derek Horn prior to Kellen Winslow. And that was in 2013. So I believe 2010 was when he took over for Bill Hayes, and then 2013 after Derek Horn. So Michael Smith is he's been in this position before. It's kind of interesting, Dr. Robinson was a 3-time interim president, and so now Michael Smith, it seems to will be a 3-time interim athletic director. It'll be interesting to see how he manages a lot of things going forward. So, Kelvin, before the break, we want to get into your points. Joining us here in a moment is Marcus Green. Marcus, obviously, he'll be joining us. I know there's a lot to talk about in general regarding this. I know Marcus likes to come in and we usually bring Marcus in to talk about our recruiting, but it's just one of those days where hopefully we can find some time to get into that. I know it if we can. So, Kelvin, I'll come over that you wanted to get to before the break. I'll turn it over to you. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, so a lot of times we hear people talk about what this administration did versus other administrations, and that's an unfair comparison. I don't think it's a fair comparison, and I'm gonna explain some facts. Kortne, as I stated, came 2019 December. That spring of 2020 is when COVID hit. So he had a whole year where essentially he had no sports that he had to deal with because of COVID. So that presented opportunities that were unique, right? So you didn't have the expenses of teams traveling and so forth. So you had your normal expenses, which would be your scholarships and your staffing for the most part, and then whatever facilities stuff you do. So that normally in a normal athletic cycle you wouldn't have those things, because you would have those things. So athletics would be doing 16 sports, 300 some athletes, travel schedules, things in terms of logistics, operations, concessions. To do those large events, people do not know. I know, but a lot of people don't know how difficult that is with limited staff and resources. So he benefited, in my opinion, even though he didn't have some of the revenue opportunities from the football guarantee games. But overall, he benefited to be able to focus, and then he had support from some DSOs that previous administrations didn't have. I mean, it was the Alumni Association who picked up the tab for increasing coaches' coaches' salaries and some facilities stuff and so forth. So so good for him. That's positive. We needed it. It happened. So I ain't got no problem with that. But comparing it to other and saying that the first thing that, that like he was responsible for FAMU being great. FAMU has always been great. It wasn't him that hired Coach Simmons. Coach Simmons was there when he got there. It wasn't him who didn't. It wasn't him who installed Turf Field. Turf Field was there when he got there. It wasn't him that the gym floor that he just did. Was just did. It was a brand new gym floor put into Gaither Athletic Center before he got there. That was hardly ever used. So my point, and what I'm saying is, and this includes also the apparel deals. There was a apparel deal already in place, and then the opportunity came through a lot of back channels to go to Nike, but there was already a deal in place. So other administrations did great things too. The whole athletic advisement area and the student lounges, all that was redone before he got there. So there were things in place that allowed him to come in and be able to even do more and take it to the next level. I'm very glad what he accomplished, but I just want to make the point that you know things were being accomplished before him, and FAMU tradition and his opportunity to serve FAMU was a privilege, frankly. So we need to respect FAMU more, and not just a position or a title.
We like to compare. That's what we do. Folks like to compare things, and to be honest, let's be transparent with people. Kelvin, you were a part of previous administration, so you have a lot of pride in a lot of the work that was done prior to. So just to let nobody's diminishing what this current or the Gosha administration and his time period did. The same way, Kelvin was a part of an administration that was doing some good things as well. So I just wanted to make that known, and as people say, well, what we're not trying to diminish any of the positive things he's done. Marcus, come to you real quick. The news of the day as it comes down. What are your thoughts as the news was coming out, and maybe if you've been able to kind of pick up any vibes from, I don't know whether it be I don't know if recruits pay attention to this kind of thing or not, but what's your take on the news of today?
Well, I guess the first thing is you kind of knew something was going on, not just from today, but even if you go back to, I want to say it was last December or something, he was flirting around or hinting at the FIU job. There's sometime within the last year or so, there was a totally out of left field voter confidence article in the TDO. So it kind of, you didn't know it was going to come to this or how it was going to go down, but there were little signals, and they got stronger today that something was going down. So it's always been kind of circling around that something just didn't seem right with the timing of some of those articles, some of the things, even despite all the good, I don't say despite, but all the things that happened during the last 2.5 years, articles like that come out, it's like, okay, if everything's going well, why are you getting an article about a vote of confidence? And so, and also I've had the privilege of knowing Kelvin for a long time, knowing Kofi for a good little while. And also, we have our own discussions, and, things happen. Some things don't always get out in the public that, some folks have discussions about. And so everything, may not have been as nice as smooth as it appears just based on everything that we see, that looks positive. But I will say that for Kelvin and for Kofi, both of their points are well regarded in terms of, you see the improvement, much needed improvement that shouldn't have needed to have been begged for, but should have been done a long time ago. And I think there were efforts, and I know we've had discussions about different ideas, different concepts, things that have come about now, even things that were, I guess, coming about now with NIL and everything, just speaking in a theoretical sense, all kinds of ideas that have been talked about that happen to come to fruition now, but it's stuff that you shouldn't have to beg for, shouldn't have to go to the city of Tallahassee to get structural improvements that are basically putting people in a safe position. It should never come to that point. But in otherwise, the news coming down, you knew something was happening this week with everything that was swirling around, but it's been a long time coming just based on little hints that we may have passed over our heads. We didn't take it serious or didn't have a connection to what was going to happen, but there were little signals there going almost a year ago.
Can we talk for a minute about the article?
Which one?
The blog post, and that's all of you, because I see that being referenced in a lot of message boards. Because right now that's the only thing anyone has to go off of. There's nothing. I mean, why is he stepping down? Obviously, you have the HBCU game day article in the pending legal action that the SWAC is being threatened with as it relates to Urban Edge Network. But I think I want to take away. There's some things that I think people don't understand about FAMU's relationship with Urban Edge Network. And there's one particular entity that a lot of people are really skipping over, and that's FAMU's deal they signed with Peak Sports Management. Okay. When December 4th, 2020, we'll take it that far, Florida A&M Athletics announces a partnership with Peak Sports Management. Okay. Now, with Peak Sports Management, Florida A&M, and I'm just going to read right here. It's still on the website for those of you who want to go look it up. Okay. And this comes right from that article. Peak Sports will manage and sell all sponsorship inventory for Florida A&M Athletics, including venue signage, program advertising, digital web content, game sponsorship, special events, along with several other opportunities. Every key person who needed to be on and know of the deal with Peak Sports was a part of that. Knew about it, signed off on it, okayed it. Basically sold over all the rights to Peak Sports, the management. They even went out and got a general manager, a gentleman to be who's in the athletic department, who is the general manager for Rattler Sports Properties. Okay. Rattler Sports Properties is who on February 17th, 2022, when FAMU and Sports Properties inked a multi-year partnership with Urban Edge Networks to broadcast its sports and other content on HBCU League Pass Plus, that is who the deal was with. So if I'm reading the post that's saying that certain people weren't aware of the deals that happened, especially when it came to the NASCAR that was run by we had the gentleman here on our show, John Cohen of New York Racing. That car that was sponsored with HBCU League Plus, HBCU League Pass Plus. Excuse me. That deal in conjunction, it was between Peak Sports or Rattler Sports Properties and Urban Edge Networks. Urban Edge is the parent network of HBCU League Pass Plus. Okay? So it wasn't a case of A.D. Gautier didn't have to sign anything. It had already been given the rights over to Peak, Rattler Sports Properties. That is who the deal was with. So it's kind of confused. So I think there's this claim that people are confused and people are looking at A.D. Gautier and saying, I don't know, he's signing into a bad deal. Well, no. FAMU gave over its right to some degree to Rattler Sports Properties. You gave it away. Now, there was some money there involved with it, but you gave it away. So for anyone to be saying that what now, there's a whole nother part of this, the whole SWAC lawsuit. I mean, I don't know how much of that. Look, you know, Grambling's president was involved with Grambling's deal. So I mean, they didn't have peak sports management involved. But I'm just saying. I mean, can we talk about that?
But
no one's talking about
this is what happens, though. This is what happens when you have a bunch of people that don't know what they're doing. That President Robinson. This is his third interim. Now he's president. This isn't his first go round. How many ADs has President Robinson chosen?
9, 10, no, about 8 or 9.
No, really?
I was gonna say 4 or 5. But if he's 8 or 9, if he's had his hand in freaking 8 or 9 ADs, let's just say, let me go low with 4 or 5.
Let's go 5. I'd love for someone to give me the rundown. Give me the rundown. Who's got the history? Somebody who can backtrack the history. That should be like
let's go down with 4 or 5.
Contest for that.
If he's picked 4 or 5 ADs, that speaks to our infrastructure, plans, and commitment at the highest level. The problem with FAMU athletics is that President Robinson doesn't value athletics. He doesn't understand athletics. So consequently, we get into these scenarios where wrong people continue to get hired in spaces, or other people who are not aspects, or I want to say experts in regards to athletics, make decisions for athletics.
I don't have a gun, but I'm hearing you. I can't pop a gun every time you pause. So keep going.
That in itself is a major concern. There is no reason why Kortne or John Eason should not have had full control over their budget. They're the AD, so how can we hold them accountable if they don't have any say-so over what they're doing or what they're spending? That's ridiculous. So you're going to mean to tell me that legal counsel had more say-so about our ticket sales, about our revenue, about what's going on than the AD himself? So I'm kind of like, okay, well, who is accountable for these raggedy decisions that are continue to be made? It's not right. It's not fair. And again, because we are not as informed as Rattler Nation should be, and we're not as engaged as we should be, the pressure ends up never being applied in the right place. At this point, I'm looking at President Robinson like this. Because this is not your first go-round.
I keep going back and asking,
if we're talking about,
be put on? I keep going back and asking.
It needs to go on President Robinson. It needs to go. Okay. Let me say this again. It needs to go on President Robinson, because your raggedy behind sat up there and hired him under the guise, and I want to say the.
Don't do that. Stop it. Oh, the producer. Oh, the producer. Oh.
I ain't scared.
You only have to do it one time. Don't you have a scroll bar that you can throw it up
and
on?
hire Mr. Gautier, knowing his lack of experience, and under the recommendation of the people that are not going to be accountable after it's all said and done. It's ridiculous. It's not right. And again, we've had 7 ADs in the last 13 years. That's like a person that says, okay, how many wives have you had in the last 37? Okay. And it's all their fault? It's all their fault. Yeah. No, it's you. It's us. It's us. It's ridiculous about how again, we can't confront, again, the problems that FAMU has to be confronted. You cannot change what you don't confront.
Yep.
Again, why did it take Rick Kinsey to go in and take a picture of the field house for them to know that the field house was raggedy? In spite of all the emails that the coaches sent, in spite of all of the stuff that the AD communicated, Robinson didn't move on it until the pictures went public. Now, all of a sudden, hey, I guess we got to do something about it. It happened because you didn't value athletics, and again, going through all of the red tape that you have to go through at FAMU to get stuff done is frustrating. I know if it was me, I would have, I'm telling you now, I would have bogarted and jumped over every fence and jumped over people's heads, stepped on toes to get done what I felt like needed to be done on behalf of this great institution. I would have done it. I would have taken the heat, but I sure would have done it because it's long overdue. And it's ridiculous that all of these raggedy protocols are and people that they have out of position calling the shots, there's no accountability. It's not cool.
I just saw somebody post that it's been 7 ADs since 2013. I don't know if anybody's got the official list. I hate to do that because it's like, damn,
Yeah. So
you got the list.
So there were 9 prior to from 2019 prior to Kortne, right? So it started with Bill Hayes. You had Mike interim as an interim. You had Derek Horn. You had Mike interim as interim again. You had Winslow. Then we had Nelson Townsend, Dwayne Robinson, and hopefully I didn't miss anybody else. But so that sounded like
you had Overton.
What about
in there
Webster?
somewhere.
Or was he before
and
that?
Overton, yes, and Overton.
Come on,
yes.
man. Look, and even with that, even with this foolishness, right? Going back to Mike Smith yet again. For FAMU to make a move like this, I'm telling you now, Robinson, this process should not be long. I emailed you months ago. I emailed President Robinson months ago, and because I knew something was going on, and I was just like, there has to be somebody else out there that can help this department. I mean, Herb Reinhardt is running Valdosta State flawlessly, but you know why he won't come to FAMU? Because of all of this stupid dysfunction. When you got people in administration getting paid 80 grand to do nothing.
Hey, let me ask.
With an alleged booster organization that does not exist, but no accountability, all because he helped President Robinson get into office. I'm like, look, at what point are we going to hold these people accountable for these decisions? Looking back again, we going back to Mike Smith. If you make a move like this to put pressure on Gautier to get out of here, you better sure enough have at least 3 names in your pocket, committee or no committee. Because I'm sick of the committee because I don't want people on that committee that don't understand athletics. It's additional dysfunction. We waste a ton of time with a bunch of people that look at resumes and say, oh, no. Do you want to be? You got Derek McGee that's out there. You got Darlene Moore who understands the culture. You got Marvin Gray. You got Vaughn Wilson. You got a number of people, maybe even other HBCUs. But looking at where we are right now, we need to be able to define where we are now, where we are going, and how we gonna get there. Speaking to vision. I'm sick of the rigmarole because yes, President Robinson loves to, I want to say, give people, he's not a micromanager, but his management style is what's allowed this thing to get into the point that it's got. And it's ridiculous. It's on us to be the change that FAMU needs.
We were talking about a month ago now on the eve of when we had a similar conversation. Actually, you guys started it the weekend when I was and we carried it forward, but we started talking about reaching out to Dr. Robinson and saying, if you wanted to start seeing some real change, we got to start touching and contacting the right people. Because obviously we were concerned. We knew A.D. Gautier had not been given a contract extension. We knew he wanted one. We also knew the smoke the smoke alarm was going off when we saw Jackson State's AD get a deal, and so all the flags were, the warning signs were there. But I'm going to go back. We talked about there was a board of governors meeting that was supposed to come up. What was it, last month? was the Board of Governors meeting. And remember, originally we saw FAMU on the actual agenda. That's never happened.
FAMU Athletics.
FAMU Athletics was supposed to be on the agenda to talk about the budget. Are we at a point of being able to say what happened there? Do we know what happened? We're not there. Okay.
You can still look. Anybody that's on this line right now could put in a request for information. Anything concerning the university, because FAMU is a public institution. Any contracts that we have out there, we have the right to put in a request for everything that's out there concerning FAMU. It's public information. So we need to be putting in our requests so that we can be the informed nation that we need to be, so that we can go forth and push for the right changes to manifest. Again, this has gone on way too long. Now, let me just go back to Mr. Gosha for a minute, because, again, he's not innocent.
Real quick. 1 minute, Kofi. Go ahead.
No, I mean, he's just not, he's good. He's got his good qualities. But again, there are some things that he's done, and everybody wants to know what things, that's out there that that caused President Robinson to do the things that he basically get rid of him. So again, when you hire staff,
Kofi. He resigned.
He resigned because there was pressure that was put on there.
He resigned.
Under pressure.
Okay, well, he resigned. Whatever y'all want to say, he resigned under pressure. Okay.
Under pressure.
Okay, whatever y'all want to say, he resigned. So let's make sure we're accurate.
To Kofi's point
about what we say. Yes.
To Kofi's point, you're saying if this has been a long time coming, there should have been a short list. Now, the question is, will we want President Robinson to create the short list? Do we think he's capable of doing that and getting somebody who could take us to the next level? But the point is,
he should have been had, and again, sorry.
Hey, hold on, let me finish. If AD Gosha already showed being his age and being, what's the word?
Young,
aggressive, that he wants to. This is a stepping stone for him. So regardless, whether it came to him resigning, getting fired, or he got hired to the next thing, there should have been a short list already of people. There should have already been a radar out there looking for somebody who's going to be the next person to take us to the next level. And to go back to an interim without doing a short list of people that you've already identified is just going to keep us in the same place and hopefully not take us backwards. So yeah, regardless of how things happened or how AD Gosha left, there should have already been some things in place, or at least some ideas and thoughts and names of, okay, we're going to go snag this person. We're going to go talk to this person.
Why I'm linked on Michael Smith in those previous 10 years as the interim? How long was he there?
Oh my God!
I know in one case it was 10 months, around 10 months. The second time, I'm not sure, but it couldn't have been too much more than that. Maybe a year and a half.
No, it's about the same. So he's keeping his feet warm. But I mean, when you see stuff like this at other colleges, and I don't know what kind of function or dysfunction they have a name in their back pocket. Now, it could be their own little mafia, their own little Illuminati bringing those names, but they're not coming in there with like, okay, let's go get the same dude we've been using 15 years ago.
Let's be fair about that, because in cases that I've seen of athletic directors leaving, it was usually known that he was going to leave. It was like, hey, so-and-so is going to be stepping down in 2 to 3 months. So you have 2-3 months or however long to begin your process of planning for the next person. You find me a school that
the signs have been there for almost a year that he wasn't going to be here much longer. Either him publicly posturing for other jobs, or the lack of him getting an extension was a clear message. And that article that came out, that was a vote of confidence. You don't get a vote of confidence unless somebody is not confident in you. So the signs were there. So if you're the person that's the head, and all these things are coming around, and you kind of know, either from not extending the contract or seeing these articles from other people about a vote of confidence and that somebody's getting wind that your job's in jeopardy, then if you're the person that has to hire the next one, then you can't be waiting until after you fire him or get a public resignation in order to have some names.
But you guys have already just said that Dr. Robinson you guys have already said Dr. Robinson is a thoughtful person, that he likes to take his time in terms of analyzing and thinking about things. That while that may be true, Marcus, he may have also been waiting to see if other things develop before he went that route. Yes? Is that, at least I would think. So it's not that, the contract didn't expire until November. He probably had until it'd be 3 years in November.
December 2nd.
If anything,
December 2nd.
Okay, so that means you had the summer, even going into the early part of fall, to begin that process. If you were going to negotiate with AD Gosha, imagine you were going to wait until the end of this school year and go into the months of May and June with that negotiating process, and then begin any kind of potential new deal or extension at the beginning of July. I'm just using the timeline, the new school year, the new calendar beginning on July 1. That's just my guess. So if there was going to be an announcement, you would have thought, yes, I'm going to make a change in the summer. But that I don't think it's as easy to just flip the script and go from one AD to the next. All right, let's take a break. We got to take a break and come back with some more discussion. Get ready to open up the phone lines to you guys out there. I know Rattler Nation's got a lot to say. Scotty, no, you can't call in. Just kidding. Good people out there. Shout out to Scotty, Karen Griffin, Edwin Moore out there. Jay Stokes, Montre Bennett is in the house watching us. I saw Dexter Martin on Facebook. Stephen Campbell, great comments as well. Kendrick Hayes out there, looking for some other people. All of you on Facebook and Twitter, make sure you hit that like button if you're watching us on YouTube. Go ahead and hit that thumbs up button on YouTube, on Facebook as well. Hit the like button. Get ready. We'll give out that phone number here in just a moment, and we'll see what Rattler Nation, what you guys have in mind, and we look forward to interacting with you in a moment. You're watching the ONG Strike Zone. We'll be back right after these words.
Charmin Ultra Soft has so much cushiony softness, it's hard for your family to remember. They can use less.
Sweet pillows of softness.
This is soft.
Holy Charmin.
Oh, excuse me. Roll it back, everybody.
Sorry.
Charmin Ultra Soft is so cushiony soft, you'll want more. But it's so absorbent, you can use less, so it's always worth it.
Now, what did we learn about using less?
You gotta roll it back, everybody.
We all go. Why not enjoy the go with Charmin?
From novice to aficionado, find yourself here. High quality cigars plus personal customer service. Slow Burn is Waco's only mobile cigar lounge, featuring a meticulous, curated collection of premium cigars. Visit our website, www.slowburnwaco.com. That's www.slowburnwaco.com.
Q Time is a classic Atlanta soul food restaurant located in the historic West End. Q Time Soul Food is a family business started by Fred and Christine Crenshaw. Come on in, relax, and sink your chops into our tantalizing, mouth-watering, distinctive soul food with a twist, the Q Time way. 1120 Ralph David Abernathy Boulevard, or call your order in at 404-758-2881. Do you miss your mama's cooking? Then come on down to Q Time, an Urban Passport member.
For 200 years, Montgomery, Alabama has been making history by people who had the courage to stand up for change. Today, this riverfront city has been reborn, embracing the past and looking forward to the future. From the National Memorial for Peace and Justice to the stage of the Alabama Shakespeare Festival, this is where history was and is made. We are proud to call Montgomery home, and together, we can be the change.
The top HBCU programs in the nation come to Montgomery, Alabama's Riverwalk Stadium this May 11th through 14th for the Black College World Series. The best Black college baseball teams in the NCAA Division II and the NAIA will battle for Black baseball's ultimate prize. Games will be streamed live at www.mybcsn.net. Tickets are available now online at www.blackcollegechampionships.com.
Nope. Nope.
Come on, him.
Ooh, I like him.
Quick, the quicker picker-upper. Bounty picks up messes quicker, and each sheet is 2 times more absorbent, so you can use less.
He's an 8.
He's a 9.
Bounty, the quicker picker-upper.
So what you saying?
Welcome back to the OG Strike Zone. Brian, Kelvin, Kofi, and special guest Marcus Green. Yeah, that number right there, that's what you heard. That's the phone lines. We're about to open them up. All right, few ground rules as we get ready to open up the phone lines to hear you. We'll come on, we'll ask you name, where you're from. We ask that you please don't use any profanity. We try to be a clean family show as much as we can. So we just ask that you don't use profanity when you're on, when you're on the air. We'll give you some time to give your question or comment. We're not going to do a deep discussion on the phone line. So your opportunity to get your thoughts off your chest, or make a comment as you would like to do. If you got anything specific, address it to that person, and we will go from there. Our producer will cut you off if you get out of control. All right. So here's the phone line. All right, the phone. Write them down now. I'm not going. Maybe we'll post them up there online. It's 678-459-4236. Again, 678-459-4236. Yes, Scotty, I got to do ground rules. I got to do ground rules with the phone calls, just like a real radio show. We gotta keep it clean out here on these streets. We want to hear from you, Rattler Nation. Let us know what did you like? What about the Kortne Gosha and his administration? What kind of things are you not happy about today? There's a lot of division among Rattler Nation. We want to hear from you. Again, 678-459-4236. That's the number to call. Quality. All right, here we go. So I'll ask the next question in a moment. First caller of the ONG Strike Zone. Caller, what's your name and where you from?
Am I on the bonus Strike Zone?
Oh, Lord.
Yes. You know who that is. You know who that clown is. What you want, man?
What's going on? Hey, guys, you guys are having a great show. Hey, my question is this. When does anybody, how do you guys hold your president accountable for the multiple ADs that have been hired? What does that process look like? After so many, I feel like Kofi, you know what I'm saying? It can't be all up on the ADs. And I want to also say something to Kelvin. How you said that he should be honored that they hired him, but wouldn't that be bad that you gave somebody an opportunity that really shouldn't have got the opportunity? Even though he did a lot with it, you know what I'm saying? But just from what you said, he should be honored that he was hired. But that means he shouldn't have been hired. You get what I'm saying? So, but that's it, guys. Loving the show. I'm gonna sit back and watch. Thank you.
All right, Kofi and Kelvin.
Let me speak to the first. Let me speak to the first thing in terms of addressing and holding President Robinson accountable. President Robinson answers to the Board of Trustees. So whenever we have a Board of Trustees meeting, you should you should communicate or find a way to communicate with them. If you have their email addresses, all of that information is located on Google. You get their information, you send an email to all of the trustees. In addition to that, President Robinson is also accountable to the Board of Governors. Any information or concerns that you have in regards to President Robinson's performance should go to the Board of Governors. They are the people that are able to hold President Robinson accountable. In addition to that, the National Alumni Association national meeting is in Tallahassee. So if you are a concerned constituent or alum of Florida Agricultural and Mechanical University, you should find your way to the convention to say what needs to be said, because at this point, this is an election year. This is a big year as we elect local and state governments. We also we're also electing officials on the National Alumni Association committee. So whoever serves on that committee serves also as an ambassador for the alumni for the most part. But if you have a voice, use your voice. We need all hands on deck to state, about what you really feel about President Robinson's performance concerning athletics. I love the academic side that he's done, and I apologize for those of you that may have been offended for me calling President Robinson raggedy. His performance is raggedy when it comes to athletics. It's inconsistent, and it's not consistent with the values of our beloved institution. It's not right. But if you want to hold them accountable, we need all hands on deck to write the parties, the Board of Trustees and the Board of Governors, and our National Alumni President.
I want to interject one quick thing. Now, he's hired a lot of ADs and interim ADs, but I just don't remember how many he hired or put in position as permanent president, because he's been interim president twice, and he's only been permanent president since Elmira Mangum left. So, and I'm not absolving him of that, but if he's interim pres and he's putting interim AD and he's not going to be there, you have to kind of take that in consideration too. I'm not saying he's not accountable, but I'm just asking in terms of permanent pres. I mean, that's when he's accountable in the chair, not just keeping it warm.
That's a cute way of looking at it. For me, he's been there long enough. He's been in position too many times, and we've seen this dog and pony show before. This is not his first go round with this foolishness, and I'm sick and tired of it. I'm ready for him to go.
Kelvin, go ahead with
if
that.
If I had a magic wand, I would get a magic wand and just simply say, poof, be gone, like gone. A la peanut butter sandwiches, abracadabra, whatever the magic line is. When the dark clouds gather,
please,
poof,
Kelvin,
be gone.
Kelvin, please.
Scotty, you're right, man. And that's exactly what I'm saying. Initially, with the background, of Kortne, on paper, it was a bad hire. All right. He wasn't qualified. He didn't have a robust amount of experience. I mean, he was 31. He had just graduated, 7 years prior. So to turn the keys over to someone with his limited background at a program like FAMU, at a HBCU, that's a tough ask. But he did the best he could with the opportunity, though. I'll give him that.
All right, caller number 2. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
This is Stephen Campbell, and I'm calling from all over the place. Loving the show, guys. Loving the show. I just got a question for Kelvin, because I had no idea that he worked in a previous role in the athletic department. So I'm going to ask him a question. If Gautier did not do the things you say, hey, he didn't do this, he didn't do that, tell me what he did to get fired. Why do you think he got fired? Because that's the issue what everybody is having. Everybody is having issues of why the man got fired. Because I'm going to tell you something. Perception to the rest of us that are quote-unquote are not in the know like you, Kelvin, are looking at the LeBron James deal. They're looking at the barnstorming deal. They're looking at the ESPN deal that we had with the documentary series. They're looking at just the overall sports brand. And I've been around FAMU since 1988. And we have not, as powerful as Florida A&M as a university, we have never been great in sports the way we should be. And this is the first time in my 30-year history of being around FAMU that I have seen where all the sports have the ability to be where we should be at as we are academically. So I want to know the question just simply, what is the man not doing why you think he should have got fired? Plain and simple.
Can we say
Calvin.
technically he did not get fired? Technically he resigned?
Kelvin, hold on before you answer that question
Under
really
pressure.
quick. I want to step in and do one of the primary disclaimers. Somebody just asked, yes, the Black College Sports Network has a financial connection. We have a contract that we do simulcasting deals with Urban Edge Networks. Now, with that being said, I tell them like I tell everybody else. That is not going to stop us from telling the truth and releasing all the information that we know is fact. We don't do a lot of innuendo, but we will let people know when there's a discussion that needs to be had, we will have it. Because that's one of the problems that we've had as HBCUs for a very long time, that we sweep things under the rug and we don't bring them to light. We have a very intimate understanding of the things that happen in Florida A&M athletics. Trust me. So we know some of the things that are going on, and that's why I will not allow them to say certain things that don't or cannot be backed up by fact unless they are stating their opinion. Thank you for your time. Kelvin, you can answer your question.
So some of it, Steve, will be speculative, and then some of it is, just inappropriate to talk about. At the end of the day, you have to get along with the university attorney. You have to get along with the person who hired you, the president. You have to get along with the leadership team, because you rely on all those people to help you do your job successfully, particularly at HBCUs. He did not get along and establish the relationships he needed to with those group of people, and a decision was made by the same person who hired him for him to go. Now, there are some things, I'm telling you, there are some things that, just not appropriate to air out publicly, but there were some legitimate things that could happen, that still might be in litigation. And I'll leave it at that.
So again, let me say, AD Gautier resigned. Let's be clear
Under
about that.
pressure.
Now, okay, what do you want to say in parentheses after that? Technically, he did resign, and so that's the official. That's official. That's fact. Okay, so why? That's a lot of people have questions as to why. So let's just put it. Do we have another caller? We have another caller on the line. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Okay, this is Mr. Ford from Atlanta. Can you hear me?
How you doing, Mr.
Yes.
Ford? Yes, we can, sir.
Okay, how's it going? Listen,
Going well.
I think it's imperative that you, with what FAMU is doing and what FAMU is building, because you got to understand now, you've given Willie Simmons far more than you gave Billy Joe. And so what I'm saying is this: whoever replaces Mr. Gosha needs to be somebody that's already at Florida A&M, somebody that's on his staff. You don't want to bring in an outsider who might have a adverse relationship with Willie Simmons, causing you to lose him. So it's very important that whoever is on Mr. Gosha's staff, he needs to take that position. Listen, y'all having a great show, and good night, okay?
All right. Thank you. Well, that would be
ahead,
Keith
Marcus.
McClooney. He's
I
the
disagree with
person.
that.
Are you
Go
shaking your
ahead,
head,
Marcus.
Marcus?
All respect for Mr. Ford, I disagree with that, and I say because you need to have someone who's going to be progressive and take the department to the next level, and if that's someone internal or external. But I don't know if being a FAMUan 100% should be the deciding factor, but you need someone who's going to build upon the good things that were done and hopefully affect change for the things that need to be corrected. And I guess another thing is in terms of the FAMU culture itself. I mean, we're all, at least me, and I know Kelvin, maybe Kofi, we're all about the same era. And we've seen things from back in the Humphrey era, as much as we, romanticize it, a lot of this political stuff, a lot of the nepotism, a lot of the things that just continue to fester. And that's what we got to root out, whether it was athletics, academics, the administration, all that stuff. And so with all respect to Mr. Ford, picking somebody who's already at FAMU is going to get us more of what we got. We need to have someone and have an administration that's going to be supportive, whether it's someone internal or external, but somebody who's going to be there and be progressive, and we're not be going back to doing paper stuff and all these other things. Even some of the things that we're doing this year that are progressive are things that are behind, like even at the baseball field. You know, got to take cash only. Why? Because we don't have enough Wi-Fi out there to swipe and do something like modern programs do. And that's something we need to go on. We need somebody with that progressive mindset to take us to that next level and even embrace the common things like UCF putting a QR code so they can market their team. We talked about that almost 10 years ago in the pit, you know, and it's like all those ideas and someone who's a progressive or even has an ear to listen to perspectives and do something different to take us to the next level. And that isn't, we can't say 100% that that's someone, it could be someone at FAMU now. So it's not totally dismissing Mr. Ford, but it may not be. But whoever it is needs to be able to get along with the stakeholders, the fans, his or her boss, and everybody else for the benefit of the program.
Kofi, I know you had a question. You look like you wanted to jump in there real quick. Yes, no?
I was in alignment with my brother Marcus with what he was saying. With all respect to my brother, Mr. Ford, and his contribution to HBCUs and the show on this evening, you know, the Humphreys era was successful largely because Humphreys was all in concerning athletics.
Yes.
Humphreys was all in concerning athletics. He understood the relationship between athletics and the growth of the institution. So he would do things to make sure that the 100 was taken care of and that athletics was taken care of. And that we had people in position that could win. In 1990, we won football, basketball, baseball, I think women's basketball, men's tennis, and women's tennis. That's 6 titles, and it may be 7.
Probably volleyball and
but
softball
that's because who?
Probably volleyball
Maybe
and
softball. I'm not sure if we who?
Volleyball and softball, probably.
Oh, volleyball, we had that as well. So again, it begins and ends with our president and what his desire is for the institution regarding athletics. You know, even going back to athletes that were in need or trying to get admitted to the university. You know, if Humphreys is there, you know, Earl Holmes doesn't have the problem getting the SEC athletes that were ready to transfer to FAMU into FAMU. You know, if Humphreys is there, we're not worried about Olakoden going to South Dakota State or Kamari Everett, who's at Bethune-Cookman, who's definitely a pro prospect. He would have been on our offense. You know, but our administration has some crazy restrictions because I don't think they see necessarily the big picture. Anytime you're more committed and submitted to a piece of paper than the heart of the institution, you know, I'm kind of like, I look at you kind of sideways, you know, because at the end of the day, we are still in HBCU and we should still have strong HBCU values. I mean, I'm not saying admit somebody that's got a 2.1 GPA. And I mean, FAMU is legitimately turning away people with 3.75s, 3.85s, 4.0s, 4.5 GPA. And these people are going to other schools and excelling. Meanwhile, we don't have the money because we don't have the enrollment because somebody chickened out when it came to confronting the Board of Governors about the path of our university. It's ridiculous.
Before we get ready to take a quick break, got a question for not only you guys, but for just in general, as we talk about, and something that Mr. Ford said got me thinking about this.
Is there a call?
Well, no, not at the moment. We're going to take a break real quick. How much of an influence is going to have or maybe how much of an influence should Coach Simmons have in the hire of the new AD? Just putting that out there is just something to think on. Don't answer right at the moment. We'll answer on the other side of the break. And I say that because him being the head of the football program, the most visible coach that we have, I think it's worth asking that question in light. So let's do this. Again, coming back after the break, Morals, we'll drop the phone number again for those of you who might have missed it. We want to hear from you. We love the comments out there on Facebook and Twitter. If you're watching on YouTube, hit that like button. There's a lot of you out there on YouTube that haven't hit that like button. Go ahead and give us a thumbs up. You know you like the content we're giving right now. Your best place to react on things that are going on right now after the resignation of Athletic Director Kortne Gosha. You're watching the
And it shouldn't take a resignation for our numbers to be up.
We'll be back right after these words.
Oh, that spin class was brutal. Well, you can try using the Buick's massaging seat.
Ooh, yeah, that's nice. Can I use Apple CarPlay to put some music on?
Sure, it's wireless.
Pick something we all like. Okay, hold on. What's your Buick's Wi-Fi password?
Buick Envision 2021.
Oh, you should pick something stronger. That's really predictable. That's a really tight spot. Don't worry. I used to hate parallel parking.
Me too.
Hey.
Really outdid yourself.
Yes, we did.
The all-new Buick Envision, an SUV built around you, all of you.
Supermarket sushi, really?
No. Wait, Troy, you work here?
I'm never not working. Like Head & Shoulders Scalp Shield technology, up to 100% dandruff protection, even between washes.
Never not working, huh?
Oh, Troy, you're such a good teacher.
Yeah, I know. Never not working. Never not working. Never, ever not working.
Are you serious?
Never not working. Dandruff protection that's never not working. Head & Shoulders Scalp Shield technology.
It's never too early to plant the seed, to share the tradition, and instill a sense of pride in your HBCU with your little ones. HBCU Pride and Joy Children's Boutique helps you share your school spirit with a wide selection of adorable kids' apparel and accessories officially licensed from your favorite HBCU. Visit hbcupridejoy.com and follow us on all social media at HBCU Pride Joy on Facebook and Twitter.
This is the Dean of the College of HBCU Sports, Kenyatta Cavill of Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Come mix it up in the lab where the course lecture is in session every Tuesday from 6 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time on Facebook Live, YouTube Spreaker, or the BCSN app, as we discuss all things about the HBCU sports culture, including exploring the week that was in the sporting HBCU diaspora, as well as the upcoming week of HBCU sports. With me, the Dean, the College of HBCU Sports, on Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Course lecture dismissed.
Charmin Ultra Soft has so much cushiony softness, it's hard for your family to remember. They can use less.
Sweet pillows of softness.
This is soft.
Holy Charmin. Oh, excuse me. Roll it back, everybody.
Sorry. Charmin Ultra Soft is so cushiony soft, you'll want more. But it's so absorbent, you can use less, so it's always worth it.
Now, what did we learn about using less?
You gotta roll it back, everybody.
We all go. Why not enjoy the go with Charmin?
From novice to aficionado, find yourself here. High quality cigars plus personal customer service. Slow Burn is Waco's only mobile cigar lounge, featuring a meticulous, curated collection of premium cigars. Visit our website, www.slowburnwaco.com. That's www.slowburnwaco.com.
Q Time is our classic Atlanta soul food restaurant located in the historic West End. Q Time Soul Food is a family business started by Fred and Christine Crenshaw. Come on in, relax, and sink your chops into our tantalizing, mouth-watering, distinctive soul food with a twist, the Q Time way. 1120 Ralph David Abernathy Boulevard, or call your order in at 404-758-2881. Do you miss your mama's cooking? Then come on down to Q Time, an Urban Passport member.
For two.
Welcome back to the O&G Strike Zone. Brian, Kelvin, Kofi, special guest Marcus Green joining us right now. Shout out to everyone who's chatting us up on Facebook and YouTube, especially. Let me go ahead and give out the number here. We'll take a few more calls. We want to hear from Rattler Nation. Any thoughts and comments? When I come to you, when we open the phone lines, we ask that, remember, no cussing. Just keep it clean. We try to be a family show, and we'll call your name, let us know your name, where you're calling from, and then ask your comment, or go ahead with your comment, ask your question. We want to hear from you. The number again is 678-459-4236. Again, 678-459-4236. Caller, you're on the line. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good evening, gentlemen. It is the official police from the one and only Off Script. And
let's go.
I was told that there was a special request for Miss Script to go and do the one thing that I know how to do best. So with that being said, I called in all the way from Atlanta to Rattler Nation to say, if you all do not get these likes up, I'm going to go into one of my grandmama's prayers. And trust me, it's fresh. She just made it to Heaven's Gate. So I'm sure y'all do not want me to tarry on the phone tonight. Let's go ahead and get these likes up for these gentlemen, as they are doing a wonderful job. And I am thoroughly enjoying the show.
Thank you.
Thank you for tuning in, Miss Script. We appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, you guys go ahead and get those likes up, please.
Thank you,
we
Key.
appreciate it. Make sure to get those likes up. Make sure you're following the Black College Sports Network as well as the O&G Strike Zone. You can find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at O&G Strike Zone. Get the likes up here on the YouTube page if you're watching us on Facebook as well. We appreciate it. You can definitely find this show also part of the BCSN Pod Zone. It will be a Pod Zone available. You can always go back and watch it on YouTube and Facebook as well, because I know somebody that may be late to the show, late to the party, is like, what just happened? What happened to our AD? Well, this is your chance to share with
How could they
Got
donate,
another caller on the line. Caller, what's your name? Where are you calling from?
What's happening, fellas? This is Kenya calling from New York. And so I want
All right. How you doing, Kenya?
What's up, Miss
Hey,
Sykes?
how y'all doing? You know, I'm in my feelings today. And
Tell us.
It's been a
Tell us
rough
how you
day.
feeling.
Sad day. I'm sad for Rattler Nation. I'm pissed off. And, the reason is that I look at the instability that we find ourselves in, yet again. And, my concern is that we have this wonderful brand, and then I see universities like A&T, I see JSU starting to eclipse us in the area of stability, all right? And my main concern is about alumni. Alumni have started to give because we could visibly see the progress. So Kelvin, I know you say, a lot of stuff been happening behind the scenes. We know that. FAMU's great. It'll always be great. But the problem is that we haven't been able to see the growth. And now that we're able to actually see the progress, alumni started to give. Last year was one of the best seasons that I've seen in years in Bragg Stadium. It was like we were back to where we used to be. And what's going to happen now, what you're already starting to see, and it's coupled up with tomorrow's 1887 strikes, is alumni starting to close those pocketbooks now. And that's the main concern. And my heart goes out to the student athletes, right? Because they're the ones who are going to suffer, because alumni, we only give where we can see it happening, and we see that change, and we see that progress being made. So we can say what we want about Gautier, and maybe he was the beneficiary of some stuff that was already in the works, but he made it pop off. He made it happen, and we saw that visible change, and those dollars started to release and help move that progress forward. So I'm really concerned about that. And I've seen it already in the alumni pages where some of our top donors are now saying they're not going to give right now until they see how this is going to shake out. And so I just, again, my heart is heavy. I've been cursing all day, and so I'm going to keep it PG now. But I just wanted to call in. I love you guys. Keep doing what you do. And I'm going to keep supporting, but I'm a little bit pissed off right now. So later.
We appreciate you.
Thank you.
And those sentiments, we would encourage you. Let President Robinson know. His email address is out there. We know what it is. Know your displeasure. I know the National Alumni Association also. I think I saw messages where they put it out there. We have to let the president know. Whatever the reasons, we need to know what those reasons are. And then more importantly, we need to know what is happening going forward. We want a line because, as you said, here we are coming up at the end of the school year, the end of the spring season, but we're going into the last couple of months. I mean, it is no disrespect to Mr. Smith. I mean, but is that who's leading us into the fall? Who's leading us into the fall with all of the momentum? Is that's a big question. And here we are. Just think, how much money did AD Gautier raise on that strike tour in the summer? What was that? Almost $500,000.
$500,000.
I got to imagine with the first summer without COVID, I got to imagine they were going to try to eclipse that number this summer. What now?
And it still could happen. It could still happen. But we gotta push, man. I don't want to see Mike Smith in the fall. Love him. He was Mr. Excitement back in the day. Ran the opening kickoff in the Grambling game back in 1983, back to the 1 yard line. It was amazing. He's great rattler. Great guy. He's got a great heart, but he's part of that regime that makes me look at FAMU side eye. Like, why do you keep going back to this same person? I know he's got the experience, but my God, again, if you're going to make a move like this and put the pressure for something like this to happen, surely you've got a plan. And if you don't have a plan, I'm going to be upset.
And that's what I was saying earlier, Kofi, about the short list.
Very upset.
So
you talk.
I like the topic. We talking about what's next, right? Where do we go from here? And I think everybody got good points. It's a couple of things I want to throw on the table. So right now, our athletic budget in the 2 years since Gautier been there hasn't changed. It's right around somewhere 8.5 million or so.
Between 8 and 9.
So
that's honestly, our athletic budget.
That's our athletic budget, right?
That's ridiculous.
And so not everything is included in that budget. There's some logistical, some operational, and some facilities things that are included in that number. So when folks say that, while we recognize things have improved, there are some things from a financial standpoint have yet to be reaped. And that's our next step, right? We're not going to be consistently competitive in multiple sports every year and year out unless we get that athletic budget somewhere between 12 and 15 million a year. That's what it requires. And that's still only, 16 million is the average, is the medium right now. So the kind of discussions we got to have is the P3, something that generates revenue. If you want athletics to be self-sufficient year round, that requires that you got to have revenue streams that athletics can produce. So P3, where you have stadium, food, retail, all that into something that can, similar to College Town, is a way of actually athletics being able to sustain itself. And so those are kind of, we need big ideas.
Let's
stop for a second.
Hold on. Let Calvin finish your point because we got another caller on the line. Finish your point, Calvin.
Well, that's it. I'm just saying it's some big ideals. There's nothing new. We've done feasibility studies. We've done actually procurement processes for P3s and so forth for this very reason, so we can get out of this constant turnover. Turnover of just having just student fees, which we don't want to raise, and when the Luni get mad and so forth, season tickets, that whole thing. We need some other revenue streams that athletic can generate, and so AP3 is a way of doing that. So that's what I would like to see. That's the next level for me.
All right, hold your thought, Kofi, for a second. Let's get to our caller. Caller, you're on the line. What's your name? Where you from?
What's going on, fellas, man? It's AD, man. Just had to call in and let y'all know y'all been on a roll tonight, fellas. Kelvin, Kofi, Marcus, and, of course, my partner, Brian. What's going on, man?
What's going
good,
on,
brother?
Drew?
What's good?
Doing good.
Nothing much, man. Nothing much, man.
What's your thought, brother?
I'm still trying to piece all of this stuff together in my head. Obviously, we've been around this game long enough to know, and we've been around FAMU long enough to know where there's smoke, there's fire, and the match was finally lit today, it seems like, when it comes to AD Gautier. So, you guys brought it up earlier. When you get that vote of confidence, that is one of those telltale signs. And having seen this situation before, when somewhere along the line it's apparent that AD Gautier lost the confidence of the president. Now, we may or we may not ever find out what was that trigger that made him lose the confidence of the president, or lost the confidence of enough people who had the ear of the president, where they was forced to make this move. Because the president, in order to save face, sometimes you get rid of the people below you in order to save your face. That's what it may look like that this situation is to me.
All right. Appreciate you calling in, AD. Wise words. Hey, man, look, this thing, there's levels to this. And again, we can only, we're not going to speculate, and we may read about it in other places, put it like that. Kofi, what was your thoughts that you wanted to touch on before Drew called in?
Well, I wanted to talk about athletic budgets because, again, this is something that points, again, back at Larry Robinson, back at our board of trustees, and where we're trying to go, why enrollment is so important. North Dakota State has 14,000 students. Okay? Their athletic budget is over $20 million. Ours is what, Kelvin?
8.5.
I mean, it's laughable, but we want to beat North Dakota State.
But you also have to, when you say that, Drew, though, Kofi, you also have to explain the fact that in a public, we are one of how many public institutions? 11, 12 in the state of Florida. They are one of 2, if I'm not mistaken, in North Dakota.
I get it, but I want people to have a reality check as well. Sam Houston State, again, they're moving up, but their budget is $19.5 million. What's our budget, Kelvin?
8.5.
But we talking about championships. We talk about beating people. We love to talk trash, but I want a reality check to where we are right now and why it's important to have an administration that, A, understands that, and B, does what's necessary to make sure that these departments, along with academics, has everything that it needs. Our enrollment matters. When you talk about student fees, and we're down at 8,000 some odd thousand students when we used to be at 13.
Enrollment's been
That's
capped.
throwing away millions. It's throwing away millions of dollars that could have been ready for athletics to use. But because we haven't led the nation in National Merit Achievement Scholars in years, we haven't led the nation in terms of graduating African Americans in years. We haven't led it. So apparently it must not be necessarily a priority. I credit President Robinson for being a great stabilizer. But at this point, FAMU needs a visionary that understands success for FAMU on all fronts. At this point, it's not him. He's proven to us on multiple occasions the kind of guy he is and what his focus is. What are we going to do? You cannot continue to do the same thing and expect something different to happen. As long as Larry Robinson remains in that seat, FAMU will not prosper in athletics. Period.
We got another caller on the line. Caller, what's your name? Where you from?
Hello?
Hello, caller, what's your name? Where you from?
Yes, this is Mike Reed from Tampa, Florida.
Okay, Mike, how you doing, brother?
Mike?
How you brothers
Go
doing?
ahead, Mike. All right.
All right, I'm just gonna put it out there to you, brother Kofi. $8.5 million doesn't do much of anything.
He's breaking
but my
up.
challenge
I can't
is
hear him.
my challenge is not to just our administration. My challenge is to me, to you, everybody listening, everybody on these message boards out here, everybody on Facebook. If we want to do better than what we're doing right now, it's time for us to wrest control of our athletic department. I was just up there in Tallahassee this past weekend, just driving around, trying to get some stuff in place for family homecoming weekend. For some reason, I did not see but 6 people on our campus the entire weekend. I went down the hill to Railroad Square, up and down Gaines Street and so forth, and it looks like I don't want to say Bourbon Street, but it's like 2 whole different cities. But what College Town is, College Town became the creation of a bunch of Florida State boosters who got tired of getting embarrassed by the likes of Wake Forest and North Carolina State and Louisville. And they sat down long enough to craft a plan to financially subsidize the vision that they wanted to see happen. And now you see hotels going from Cascade down to Lake Bradford down there. You see a Bill Campbell, which is nothing but an erector set like the former Brad, totally revamped. Everything surrounding FAM is damn near garnet and gold right now. That's the result of a number of people sitting down long enough when we have these conventions, when we go to these classics, instead of sitting down and partying all the damn time, it's time to put some business and some substance behind all this partying. I want to challenge you, me, all of us listening. It's time for us to map out just what the hell kind of program do we want to have representing FAMU, because the students can't subsidize it with fees. I think the athletic fee is something like $17 a credit. So the average kid is only going to a kid that's going 30 credits a year is only going to contribute $500. Right now we may have 9,000 kids up there. Okay, 9,000 kids at $500 is only $4.5 million. So where do we come up with that other $4.5 million that gets us to the 8.5 right now? It boggles my mind. But if we want to create a program that's going to rival the Sam Houston States, the North Dakota States, even the A&Ts, and all these guys who are out bolting for the CAA, it's time for us to do like what the Gators do, like what Ohio State and them do. They wrest control of their program and they dictate to the damn school what they want to have done because they put the money up for it. Them guys down the street of Florida State, they got $27 million for what? To do it, additional enhancement to Doak Campbell, like it needed something. We got handed $10 million just to eradicate rust. off the stadium. I'm a little perturbed. I'm like Kenya. I'm a little missed tonight that our AD has left. I don't blame him because of all of the back office behind the music nonsense that he probably had to go and undertake. So, brother Gautier, I appreciate what you've done because we would not have gotten this far had you not been here. But my challenge is to Rattler Nation, what the hell y'all want to do with this damn athletic program? And I'm going to leave it at that and listen to you guys.
Ooh. Well said, Mike.
Thanks, Mike.
Appreciate you calling. Thank you. I hope tomorrow is the first day of the FAMU Day of Giving. What is that? The 1887 strikes.
1887 strikes.
That's a annual giving day for students at Florida A&M University. I know there's a lot of alumni that are upset. You heard Kenya talk about there are people, they're already alumni considering pausing on donations and things. I hope tomorrow is not that day, Rattler Nation. Tomorrow does not need to be the day to go on strike with your donations to the university. Tomorrow is a day to support the students. So let's make sure tomorrow and Friday is that day where you give in support of our student athletes. And again, we want to encourage you. Let Dr. Robinson know how unhappy you are. And then, yes, now after Friday, hey, look, let's speak with our financial dollars, like Mike said. If you're unhappy about the way things are, okay. I mean,
hey Brian, let's try to encourage people. Like Kofi mentioned earlier, we have a alumni association convention national in Tallahassee in June, and the board of trustees meeting is also that same week in June, the first week in June. So there's a perfect opportunity and platform to be constructive, not to hold nothing back, but in order to interject in the process and make sure that moving forward that we have a voice and that what has been decided is something we want to do. Let me add, athletics specifically, since this is an athletic show, we talking about athletics. Let's make sure we got to get the foundation and the leadership to do a capital campaign for athletics, right? And in that should include endowed athletic scholarships. It should be also facilities. So these are things, constructive things that normal functioning universities with successful athletic programs do. Capital campaigns, P3s, etc. We have to get those things from just a talking point to actual action. So that's what I would encourage Rattler Nation to do.
Well said.
If I can add
said.
the point,
yeah, go ahead.
And
go
also
ahead,
to tie in what Kenya and actually what Mike Reed said. They're talking about holding the money. Mike was basically saying is that you got to put some money into it to let them know you got skin in the game and you're going to listen to me. So we can't have it both ways. We can't pull back because it's looking bleak, but then want to have a say so if we're not making contributions, because that's the leverage that you have. So you don't want to give that up. So I'm hoping that everybody participates in the 1887 strikes tomorrow. And to Kelvin's point, he said for years in terms of our protocol, and also just the basic things that a lot of other programs are doing, we need to get our paradigms and our support just to do those things that are normal business activities. That's the standard business practices of an FCS football team and a Division I program. And so just changing that paradigm in our mentality to say we are going to do this and not scrimp and save, and then get the support and marshal the forces and have the right people in place that will continue to encourage us to do those things such that we're sustaining a program that is commensurate with being Division I.
Well said. Kofi, any thoughts you want to jump in? Any final thoughts? Because before we get out of the show, we got to do the Rattler Roundup before we close out. Any comments that you feel like you
I
have
just
to get
want
off
to
your chest?
reiterate this point about where we are right now. Our athletic budget is $8.5 million. People wonder how A&T got to where they are. Kelvin mentioned the whole capital campaign. Okay. Their athletic budget is $15.4 million. Okay. With the capital campaign, A&T has a total of 260 student athletes, with 195 of them on full ride scholarships. Okay. Over the last 5 years, it's no accident that they were able to collect more conference championships than any other university, 29, and winning half of the total championship. This was just in 2017. 4 out of 5 Celebration Bowls, all because somebody decided to commit. Their leadership decided to commit. Their alumni finally decided to commit. They are all in. No shade, Aggie Nation, no shade. Okay? But they have a reason to be proud because they've got a plan that is working, that they bought into, and they didn't just talk about a capital campaign. They didn't just say, oh, we're going to do a capital campaign, and then nothing happened. No, they got a capital campaign up, which, again, let me talk about, because I love Dr. Friday Stroud, but we've been talking about this darn capital campaign for the last 5 years. Like, where is it? Where is it? You're getting paid to do a job. We need you to do the job because you're an integral part of what we are doing. And if your jobs are dividing your attention to the point where you can't focus and bring about the manifestation of what needs to happen, you need to step down and let somebody that knows what they're doing do it. And again, this goes back to Robinson because you the one putting them in place. Find somebody that knows what they're doing, that's competent in this, and let's get it done. The end.
Well said. Kelvin, should we do the roundup real quick?
Yes.
All right.
So, what are you going to start with?
I was going to start with softball.
Okay, go ahead.
Just as a reminder to everybody, softball team took 2 out of 3 right before Easter over Alabama A&M. Last 2 games, winning 6-5 in the 11th inning and 5-0 on Friday. This weekend, we are in Itta Bena, Mississippi, taking on Mississippi Valley State. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. The ladies have a record right now sitting at 16-25, 10-8 in the conference. Got to give a shout out to Christiana Beasley, who was named SWAC Pitcher of the Week. Christiana she got 2 wins over the past week, struck out 14 batters, and had allowed a batting average of under 1 at 0.094. So congratulations to Christiana, the SWAC Pitcher of the Week. Make sure to show the ladies some love as they get ready to hit the road to Itta Bena. Golf. How about you go to golf? I know you got the golf update, Kelvin.
Yeah, the golf concluded the SWAC championship. They finished in 3rd place. They got off to a horrible start. They were in last place, down by over 20 strokes day one. And then the next day, to their benefit, they improved to 3rd place within 1 day. They made up like 20 strokes. And over the last 2 days, if they had scored like they did the first 2 days, they would have won the tournament. They ended up losing by 6 strokes to the champion.
Wow.
But so they made up a lot of ground over the last 2 days. And I'm sure we'll probably have Coach on next week. And again, he talked about how this team was young and he didn't know how, what he would get and so forth. So I'll be interested to see what he thought happened that first day.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to hear what happened. Patrick Jean-Pierre was named to the SWAC first team after a 4th place finish. And Ayush Badhale, I hope I said that name
Hello.
right, was named to the SWAC second team after tying for 8th place. I thought did somebody just say hello?
Yeah, I think we got a caller.
We got a caller on the line. Caller, what's your name? I didn't know we had any more callers. Caller, what's your name? Where you from?
LaShanda Love, I'm calling from Houston.
LaShanda, how you doing?
Hey, y'all.
What's up?
All right. We still got some time left on our card here as we on the show. So what's on your mind? What are your thoughts?
First of all, I just wanted to lend my support to FAMU. That's from Grand Fam. I see what you guys are trying to do, and I stand with you in trying to make a better university for your students and for your student athletes. At the end of the day, that's what it's about. And my hope is that all the adults in the room will figure it out and bring all the stakeholders to the table and come up with a plan to fix those things that you guys talked about, like your revenue gap for your athletic department. I mean, you guys laid it out pretty simple and pretty plain for anybody that's willing to see and to hear what's actually going on. So what I would say is, because I did get a message from somebody that follows my page that from FAMU, and it was kind of upsetting, and they said that they were going to stop giving. And, that's the wrong approach to me. So what I would suggest for you guys to do at this time right now is the best time for y'all to start your NIL collective. If you guys don't trust or, have some misgivings about how you see things going at your school, get your alumni organized. It's plenty of FAMU graduates with businesses and everything. And that way you control how the money flows and how it's allocated through the NIL deals that you do with your student athletes. And that's why people, when I first started mine, people were like, "Oh my gosh, you're not attached to the university. You must be a scam." Well, now when things happen, right now, when you have your collective, we still have a way to get resources and things that the student athletes need, and we don't have to go through all that red tape. So, I think most alumni chapters are 501c3, so they have different rules and things that they have to go by to be able to get things accomplished. But, look at your Florida laws. I think they repealed whatever DeSantis was trying to do. I think it got repealed. I mostly look at the ones in Louisiana. But study your laws, get your LLC. I have some contacts down there that are already a little further ahead than you guys may be with your collective that could help y'all. So just any way that I can support, just let me know, and I will be more than happy, because we have to start being solution driven. We're gonna always have coaches, administrators, and presidents that we don't like, and it's up to us as alumni to step in and fill those gaps. And I honestly feel like for HBCUs, that having your own collective where you control it and you're not just donating and hoping that the person that is in charge of it does right, or at least up to your standard, that way you guys can control how the resources flow and directly support the student athlete. Because at the end of the day, that's who's going to be hurt by all this infighting that we're doing. I just wanted to add that.
Commentary.
Good
Thank
point.
you.
Is it time for the for the old orange and green collective? Is that it? Might be that time.
Let's go.
It's a little sooner than what I was ready for. It might look
Time
at
to
you.
strike.
See, you already know the time to strike. Exactly.
Hey, we're gonna have to recruit her, I think.
All right, look. LaShanda's
Thank
one
you.
of the best out there. We'll talk, LaShanda. Thanks for calling. All right. Yeah, she runs a collective
we need to do
for
a collective.
Grambling. She runs
huge.
a collective for Grambling. So I mean, she's on top of her stuff out there. So there's a reason
and we
why
need
Grambling
to do that
is
because
the way they are.
no, we absolutely 100% need to do that, because I don't know. I know a job of a president is to raise money for the institution. I know President Humphreys did a phenomenal job. I mean,
But when was the last fundraiser you've seen Dr. Robinson do?
Okay, you got me.
Caller, are you there? Hello?
No, she gone.
That's my point.
No. Yeah. Stop it. Jesus. What else I forgot what else what else did we have in the roundup, Kelvin,
Baseball.
before we got baseball? Yeah, baseball. Specific. What am I missing from baseball? I know there was something I wanted to bring up.
We're on a losing
Go
streak.
ahead.
That's what
Yeah.
we're on.
Yeah.
We've lost three we've lost 3 in a row, all at home, and we need to take advantage of this series we got coming up at home, and hopefully we'll do so. And I'll be available and I'll be in the building for sure this weekend.
Yeah, we lost 2 of 3 to Jackson State, then 3-1 loss to South Florida. Good game, tough loss. Now, Alabama A&M is a team that we swept already. I would like to see, hopefully, that we can get back on track because the series, we've got Alabama A&M and Mississippi Valley State on our – that's the next 2 series. So that means, like you said, taking advantage of it. I haven't looked at what Bethune and Alabama State have, but I think they play each other in one of those series. So let those 2 beat each other up. And that'll hopefully, if we can get 6 in a row or 5 out of these next 6 games, that'll put us in a good standing going into the Alabama State series, which is my birthday weekend, May 6th, 7th, and 8th. So that'll be good. I may have to get to Tallahassee for that one. See what happened. Might celebrate. It's been a long time since I celebrated a birthday in Tallahassee. They didn't go. The last ones I don't remember. They didn't go too well. But anyway, so I might not want to do that. What else? What other sports do? Oh, Marcus, give
Recruiting.
us a real quick and what's going on FAMU football recruiting wise on the here on this roundup segment.
Well, we got 2 commitments, FBS transfers, a running back that I really like out of Edgewood High. Well, from Coastal Carolina. Yep, he was from Edgewater High School in Orlando, Florida, and I was liking him when he was a senior. And his team went to the state championship. They lost to St. Thomas Aquinas, of course, Class 7A powerhouse. But he's coming in, he's committed, and then we also got another local guy who's transferred from the University of Kansas, a 6'3", 190 defensive back. Coming, he's a Devontae Wilson. He's a native of Quincy. Actually, I think he's from Savannah, but he played his high school senior year in at Robert F. Monroe out in Quincy. So he's coming. So he should add to the depth of the secondary. And, of course, Coach Riz is doing a bang-up job. We're already out to the offers for the class of 2025, 2026. A lot of kids coming through. So that's good. We did lose, or at least one person jumped in the portal. Our offensive lineman, Delonis Kabir, out of Belglade, I think of Pahokee. So that's one loss. But also on the other front, we did sign a young lady out of North Carolina in tennis. And yesterday and today, we got 2 basketball commitments from JUCOs.
Okay.
And so we have commitments in men's basketball. I haven't seen any in women's yet. The 2 young men, I'll get their names real quick. The young men in men's basketball, I know one, he just saw his commitment today. And the other one committed yesterday. So Jalen Bates, who's a 6'6" guard, coming out of, looks like he bounced around 2 different JUCOs, one in Florida, maybe one in another southern state. And the other young man is Jordan Tillman, who's another guard. And actually, the first young man, Jalen Bates, is a guard forward. He's about 6'6". He can go either way. We did have a couple of people jump in the portal for men's basketball. And so we're losing 2, gaining 2. We did get a young lady who's pretty good in tennis from signing to the tennis team. So overall, we seem to have some good additions to the FAMU this week.
Who is that second basketball guy that jumped in? We already know one.
Johnny Brown.
Jumped in.
Johnny Brown, and then there's Keith Littles. I think it was Keith Littles.
Littles was about a month ago. I remember Littles was about a month ago.
Johnny Brown.
Johnny Brown. He just jumped in this week.
Yeah, 6'9" kid who can shoot.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
but his minutes were just spotty. Some games he played, some games he didn't play. I never understood that rotation. But
Now I'm kind of surprised.
but
Well,
go ahead.
he has his own reasons for jumping, but with DJ Jones leaving, it seemed like he would have been primed to be the starter next. But I don't know. You never know. You don't know how the things are going behind the scenes.
All right.
Still no word on MJ. Do we know officially whether MJ is coming back or not? Still has not committed one way or the other, huh?
No,
All right.
I think it's gonna go into the summer.
All right. Well, we'll see what happens there.
And also, I think we got a baseball commitment too. Let me pull his name up. I just saw that today.
Just while you're looking that up, Marcus, one quick reminder: next week's show, last opportunity, I think, before the draft. So we'll be, if we can, we'll try to see if we can get some of our potential draft day guys on Savion, Marquise, Antoine Collier, maybe any of those guys that have opportunity, Keenan Forbes, any of those guys who have opportunities. We'll see if we can get them on, kind of find out what they have planned. We know Marquise has been working out with the Cowboys. I don't know. I haven't heard about any other guys that have had workouts with individual teams. So we'll see. And we had one Rattler play in the USFL this past weekend, if I'm not mistaken, correct?
Yes.
Calvin Sykes, right? So
Ashley. Calvin Ashley.
Calvin Ashley, yeah, Calvin Ashley. I don't know where I got Sykes from, but Ashley. Yeah.
He's the media guy. Sykes is the media.
Oh, thank you. Okay. Yeah. Ashley.
He
So
wasn't
good to
playing
see
for nobody.
Yeah, good to see Calvin is back. Good to see Ashley's back on the field. I know he had an opportunity in the NFL, decided to take some time for his mental health, and so good to see he's back, and hopefully he's in a good mindset and spirit. Did you ever find the one person, Marcus?
I didn't, but I was just checking. We got another basketball commitment. Byron Smith is transferring from TCC.
Okay.
Finally.
Okay.
He's another
so it looks
guard.
like so coach is going. So that's 3 community college guys who are going to come in probably into their sophomore, junior year. Interesting strategy, but when we talked with coach back at the beginning of the year, we knew there wasn't going to be much in terms of high school guys that he was going to be looking for. He was probably going to be a portal junior college looking for that, and maybe that's just based on the experience that he currently has. Just a different philosophy. So everybody's got their way of doing things. So we'll kind of see how it works out. All right, we gotta wrap it up, guys. We gotta put this one to bed. A lot of emotions, a lot of thoughts. We can't address them all tonight, but we definitely will continue the conversation as we move forward in the next week's show, looking at what we want in a candidate, what we want in an athletic director is maybe what are those qualities. And that's the homework assignment for all of us, to kind of be thinking about what are the kind of qualities. And I know we hate comparing, but, what else you going to do? I mean, you got to be able to look at where you want to go and see where you're at and be able to kind of compare and say, how do we get there? Well, that person helped the university get there, and then look at all the other things. But more importantly, the biggest task and the biggest assignment is we have to let Dr. Robinson know how we feel. We have to let him know what we want. So if you're really upset, one, we talked about getting involved with the National Alumni Association. That convention, the first day of June 1 through the 4th, I believe. It's in Tallahassee. Great opportunity to come home, Rattlers. There's that trustees meeting before or at the beginning. That's where it all starts. So, yes, we can send the emails to Dr. Robinson. Please send them. Overload. Send them every day. Send one a day if you got to. Whatever it takes, flood his inbox. Let him know how you feel about the decision. Then we've got to also go and support. We've got to get there to the Alumni Association meetings, make your voice heard there. And then lastly, we've got to have in mind what we want. I'd love what Mike Reed, you're laughing at Steven, right? Mike Reed, hey, look, Mike Reed, LaShanda Love, There are things out there. We have to put our money in places. We've got to be able to, the collective. Maybe it's time to create that orange and green collective. Maybe it's time to put our financial resources. Who are those big boosters? The big boosters, you're upset? You're upset? Put your money where your mouth is, and let's make something real happen at Florida A&M. Let's make something real happen, all right? That's all for this show. Kofi, final words before we close.
Rattler Nation, we are on the cusp of change. So let's be the change that we want our nation to be, Rattler Nation to be. This is an election year. So all of the attention and all of the things that need to happen from a political standpoint for FAMU really does matter. Who's on the board of governors, who's on the board of trustees. This is why we have to register people to vote. And this is why we need to develop and state our agenda so that we don't end up back in the same place, not just this year, but 4 years from now. We need to take this moment, let it sink in, but we also need to prepare for the future like never before. Let's not let this thing stop what we're trying to do or where we're going, because it's time for us to succeed like never before. God bless.
Kelvin, final words.
We must come together. We must have a vision. Our vision must be big, and we must push to have people in positions that will represent that and execute what we need. So please, Rattler Nation, do come to the alumni convention, come to the board of trustees meeting in June. Also, start to do your research and ask about, some real estate foundation. That's an opportunity there. Ask about capital campaign to include athletics with specific initiatives, and we need some dates and some times and some tangible metrics so that we know that we are on track. We have to act. There's enough time. The time is out for talking. We need action, and we need people collectively, not one, but as one voice. We need to push that action. We're gonna have to force it.
Marcus, final thoughts.
Just to echo what Kofi and Kelvin said, we need a collective effort. We need everyone's support. We need your energy in order to change. We have ideas or even challenge the current administration to make sure that we're doing some of the things that other schools doing. Why not? I mean, FAMU's great, and we have greatness inside of us, but we have to challenge ourselves not to get complacent and still do things that would be vintage 1980, and we're that much further behind than our counterparts when we don't have to be. So all of that, just to tie into what Kelvin and Kofi said in terms of challenging, make your voice heard, but also being energetic, being proactive, and being positive.
Well said. I want to remind everybody to not only go download the Jericho Broadcast Network's app, go to your Google or Apple Play Store, search My JBN, My BCSN, and if you haven't already, go download HBCU League Pass Plus. We are supporting all platforms that support HBCU sports and athletics. So whether it be our app, go get the HBCU League Plus app. Lots of opportunities to support. We talk about wanting to be a part of this thing. Well, this is a great opportunity for Rattler Nation, for fans of other universities, or just fans of HBCU sports in general. Go support, go download those apps. And also, you can find this show again on the BCSN Pod Zone. Just go search anywhere on your Google or Apple Play Store, Spotify, iHeart, BCSN Pod Zone. That's where you'll find the Pod Zone of this show, as well as our show, the BCSN Sports Wrap, Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab, our special shows like Road to Montgomery, that's highlighting the upcoming Black College World Series in Montgomery, Alabama. You also catch the Carlos Brown Show. Lots of content that's talking about this medium, this HBCU diaspora, as my good friend Dr. Gavill likes to call it. Shout out to Doc in the room. Appreciate everybody for being a part of the show. To the callers, Scotty, Stephen Campbell, Mr. Ford, Miss Script, Kenya, AD, Mike Reed, Lashanda, thank you for calling in. Everybody on the message boards on YouTube and Facebook, thank you for being a part of this show. We appreciate you. We love you. There will be brighter days ahead. And I will give a final thank you to A.D. Gautier for your service to Florida A&M University over the past 2.5 years. You put us in a better place than we were when you took over, and now somebody else will have to continue and move us to even greater heights. That's going to do it for us. Rattler Nation, stay strong. Don't let anybody bring us down, because when they get close, you got to let them know that we're going to strike, and strike again real hard. That's what we do. Peace out, Rattler Nation. Good night.